we are here with Father Leon. Thank you to be there with us. Father Leon is a great admirer of Maria Valtorta and a popularizer of her writings. So, first question for him is to introduce himself and to say something about his role here in Medjugorje. We are here in Medjugorje with him.
Okay. Well, good evening, everyone. My name is Fra Leon Pereira. I'm a Dominican from the English province, and I live here in Medjugorje. I work as the chaplain for all the English-speaking pilgrims, the Anglophony here in Medjugorje. And yes, thank you for the introduction. I am very much a fan of Maria Valtorta. I have been for a long time, and I'm glad to do this interview with you as well.
So what's the interaction, let's say, between Maria Valtorta and Medjugorje? What can you say about that?
Yes, well, really, this is how I first came to hear about Maria Valtorta, was through Medjugorje. Because in the 1980s, I think around 1988, there was an American man called Wayne Weible. At that time, he was a Protestant, a Lutheran, but he fell in love with Medjugorje. He popularized Medjugorje in America. Mm-hmm. And also, while he was doing this, he heard about Maria Valtorta through Medjugorje, and he popularized this, and he would read extracts from Maria Valtorta in English to people, and everyone who heard it wanted to read the book. Yeah. So this was, I think, 1988, and I heard this when I was living in Singapore, which is where I'm from. Yeah. So even in Singapore, we heard of this long ago. But okay. I prepared something a little bit about Medjugorje and Maria Valtorta. You know that what are all the what exactly was said. I was curious because, sometimes people will say, oh yes, the Madonna in Medjugorje said Maria Valtorta is true, but what exactly did she say and when?
Okay.
So I prepared a list. I will send all this to you so you can display it or print it. Okay. So the first one I could find was 15th August, Ferragosto, 1985. And this happened in Biacovici. There was a music teacher, Giovanna Gugeri, and her brother Ferdinando, a lawyer, from Serenio in Milan. Apparently they showed Maria Pavlovich, the visionary. They showed her music score based on Maria Valtorta's writings. I imagine this is the lullaby, the Ninna Nonna.
Yes.
Okay.
So
and Maria, apparently she was like very light-hearted and laughing. But when they showed her this, she became very serious, and she said, Maria Valtorta, all true, the poem of the man God. Our Lady said 2 years ago, all true, dictated by Jesus. Okay, so this is what Giovanna Gugeri and her brother report. Then, 3 years later, 27 January 1988, Jan Connell, this is an American lawyer, she was interviewing the visionaries, and Vicka Ivankovic said, yes, the poem of the man God by Maria Valtorta, 10 volumes. Our Lady says the poem of the man God is the truth. Our Lady said if a person wants to know Jesus, he should read the poem of the man God by Maria Valtorta. That book is the truth. Okay, so again, the language is similar. The book is the truth. It is, I think in Croatian they say uistinu, it's true. It's verita, it's authentic.
Okay.
Then 27 December 1988 on Radio Maria in Italy.
Yeah, I know.
Vicka Ivankovic, she is asked a question about the validity of Maria Valtorta, and she responds, they are true. Yes, true. Authentic. Yes. You can read these. They are true. Again, the language is similar. You can read these. Yeah. They are true. So it matches earlier what she had said, and also matches what Maria Pavlovich said. Then March 1992, I couldn't get the exact date, on EWTN, the television channel. Yeah. Archbishop Philip Hannon, he interviewed Maria Pavlovich because she was going to Alabama a lot in those days. and someone phoned in, a man named Bob, and his question was, what exactly did Our Lady say about the poem of the Man God? So Maria responded that Our Lady said, you can read it. Again.
Okay.
Yeah. Then again, 15th August 1995, again Ferragosto, with interview with Maria Pavlovich by Sister Emmanuel here, Maya, Sister Emmanuel Maya. Maria recalled that in 1982, a Franciscan from Mostar called Fra Franio, I don't know Franio who, there's so many Franios, asked her about this book, and Maria said, yes, Our Lady responded, you can read it.
Okay.
Again, similar language. And then finally, the last example I found was 15 September 1990 in Biakovici. There's an American Protestant, Kenneth Samples, skeptical of Medjugorje. Okay, he comes and he interviews Vitska Ivankovic at her house with an interpreter. And he asks her about this book by Maria Valtorta. And Vitska said, this is very mysterious, she said, Maria asked the Virgin about that book, and the Virgin said that she should read that book because it is like a poem between God and man. Now, this is very strange language. I think the problem is the interpreter.
Maybe a strange translation.
I think, that she should read that book, the poem of the Man God. I think is probably what she was trying to say. And the interpreter was like, what is this? She didn't know the title. So she said, like a poem. But again, similar language. You should read that book, or you may read that book. That book is the truth. So this seems to be the gist of the summation of what Our Lady has said here about Maria Valtorta and her writings, particularly the book, the poem of the Man God, now called The Gospel as Revealed to Me. Now, I know many Medjugorje enthusiasts usually say they believe that if Medjugorje is true, then Maria Valtorta must be true. Or if Maria Valtorta is true, then Medjugorje must be true. The Church does not operate this way. They are separate matters to be examined separately. But it is interesting here in Medjugorje. Medjugorje has certain emphasis that is curious. Like, for example, fasting Wednesday, Friday. This is a fast all the Eastern Orthodox do. But here, because of Medjugorje, it had become popularized in the West, in the Latin Church. We used to do this, but we forgot. But this is a curious emphasis. And then this emphasis on Maria Valtorta by Our Lady here. Because of that, Wayne Weibel, this Lutheran from South Carolina, told the whole world, the English-speaking world. And because of that, I heard about this. So I found the book myself in 1989, January 1989, Volume 1.
Wow. So you started from Volume 1.
I started with Volume 1. My godmother, her name is Joan, she lent me this book. And I was so excited. I read it. I wasn't sure how much to expect. I was 17 years old at the time, and very new back to my faith. Because so when I read it
you were
initially,
kind of skeptical?
No, because I had already looked at Anne-Catherine Emmerich and Maria de Agreda, and I was not impressed, because I'm sorry, I know some people like those books. But for me, I found them very heavy. Anne-Catherine Emmerich is written in the third person because it's what that gentleman, I forget his name, Brentano, he is the one who is saying she said this, she said she saw this, so it's already second, third person removed and a little bit formal, a little less intimate. Maria Valtorta, it's like watching a video. You are there, you are watching the life of Jesus and Mary. I mean, in many ways, now for a modern people, I would say it is like watching The Chosen. Okay, but better. Accurate. Yes.
Okay. But when you first came in contact with these writings, what convinced you that they are true and reliable?
That is a good question. Because when I remember when I first read it, especially Volume 1, when you read Volume 1 as a man, you know, it's like it's for children and women.
Yeah.
The infancy of Jesus and Our Lady's infancy and all that. It can be a little bit. It sounds a little bit sweet, maybe too sweet.
Yeah.
You know, so I remember when I was reading it as a teenage boy, I was thinking, I hope it gets better. And it does. I mean, now when I read it, I don't mind.
Yeah.
Now that I'm old. But then I remember when we get to the first year of the public life of Jesus, then it takes off. For me, those are the best. The first 3 years, and of course, the passion, the death, and the resurrection, all that, the glory, all that is fantastic stuff. Because it is the complaint, the criticism of Valtorta is. Remember, they said it was a badly written novel.
Yeah.
How do you say, male romanzata? or something?
Malamente romanzato. Yes.
Okay. And I understand when you even her Italian is more archaic, it's more quaint, I think, you know, when you read it. But her own prose can sometimes be a little bit heavy, but whenever she does dialogue, it's instantly gripping, the dialogue, and you can recognize who is speaking, you know, as also the more recent studies by Professor Liberato De Caro and
Matriciani,
yes, they have shown that with statistical significance, you can see these are different voices in the writings, you know, for example. But for me, back in those days, we had none of these scientific proofs. I would say what convinced me was the way that in Valtorta, all the gospel passages make sense. You know, for example, when you look at Matthew's gospel, the Sermon on the Mount, there Jesus says many, many different things, but they are all disjointed.
Yeah.
There's no obvious connection.
Yeah.
So scripture scholars will look at it and say, obviously, Jesus preached on many occasions. This is collected together and presented by Matthew. In Maria, there is a connection between them.
Yeah, and you can see the connection.
A logical connection and natural connection, not forced.
Yeah.
And beautiful. And many other things like this, you know, that you just think, how in the world? I remember one of the things that struck me most, you know, when Jesus is challenged by the Jews in the temple, you know, this is, I think, in the volume 5 of the poem of the man God.
Yeah, okay.
They challenge him in the temple and they say, you are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham? Okay. Now, I know, you know, studying scripture, that, you know, the Greek manuscripts, some minority of the manuscripts say, you are not yet 50 years old, and has Abraham seen you? Okay, so which one is it? Is it, have you seen Abraham, or has Abraham seen you?
Yeah.
But in Maria Valtorta, it says, you are not yet 50 years old, and have you seen Abraham, and has Abraham seen you?
Wow.
You know, and
so all makes sense.
This is incredible, because how would she know? I mean, she would have to really know all the manuscript variants, and then even put the effort into trying to harmonize them. And of course, then, okay, now this I know from much later when reading volume 5 with the resurrection. Is it one angel or two angels? Is it Mary Magdalene, or is it with the 3 women who went to anoint? Do they see Jesus, or do they see the angels? Does he say, wait here, or does he say, go to Galilee? Tell my brothers to see, they will see me in Galilee, you know? And of course, it's not a problem looking at the 4 Gospels. When we have these variants, this is exactly how you report a true event. You know, the details don't match. When you interview people, the details don't match, but there's a kernel of truth in there, a little bit. But this is an important thing, because this is concerning the resurrection. You know, like for example, you know, people say that those who are old enough, they remember what they were doing when John F. Kennedy was assassinated. You know, an important event you remember, because memory can be distorted a little bit. In Maria Valtorta, all the resurrection accounts harmonize beautifully, you know, and in a way that does not feel forced at all. You know, and how do you explain something like this? I mean, but these are not the reasons I believe. I think, I don't know, I just believed it because Our Lady here said it's true, so I believed.
Okay.
For me.
Okay. And maybe a personal question, but did this change your life?
Completely.
Wow.
So before I finished high school, I already read the first 3 volumes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I keep talking about 5 volumes because this was the first edition. Okay. So first 3 volumes, and then the 4th volume came out just as I had to go into the army, national service. You know, in Singapore, you have to do 2.5 years in the army.
Wow.
So every weekend I came home on a Friday night until Sunday lunchtime.
Yeah.
I would read Maria Valtorta, volume 4.
Wow.
I would read as much as I could to keep me going back in the army.
Yes, wow.
To me, the army was madness. You know, it was all this bad language and craziness and weird way of thinking, but also a lot of good things. But Maria Valtorta nourished me in the army. And then I remember volume 5 coming out in English, you know, for the first time. I think it was 1990. And I was home. I was home again. I was still in the army, but I was home. And the excitement to be able to read this at last, you know. But I feel the excitement even telling you now. But this book, I can't tell you how much it means to me because as I tell the pilgrims here, I read it every night. I read it. After the army, I went off to medical school. I became a doctor. I worked in a hospital. I read it every night there. Even when I was supposed to be doing my exams, I should have been revising.
Yeah.
I read Maria Valtorta.
Wow.
Not my and at the end of a shift, you know, in the hospital, I would read her before I went to bed.
Wow.
Always, even now.
So you read the book in English.
In English,
But you also can read the Italian.
I can read in Italian. I can. Not at that time I couldn't, but now I can.
Okay.
I also sometimes read it in French.
Oh wow! But, so many languages.
French is easier for me, but Italian is the original. I want to read in Italian.
Yeah.
To get the flavor.
As the Italian, we have
it's
a great
such a
responsibility.
blessing. Yes, such a blessing.
Yeah. Okay. So you mentioned the scientific studies that we have now, and we hope many more in the future. And this is a strange thing, but it's a first time ever that science confirms a mystical vision.
Yes.
This is so important for our skeptical world, I think, no?
Yes.
We are so rational and maybe rationalistic sometimes, but we have now the science saying that a mystical vision is true. This is the first time ever.
I have a personal experience of this because one of the professors you mentioned, Professor Liberato De Caro, I email him sometimes. We are in correspondence.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about different things to do with Maria Valtorta. And once he emailed me and he sent me a list of Hebrew words and he said, "Can you translate these for me?" So I did not know the context. I didn't know what it was about. I translated them for him and I sent it back to him. And then he tells me what it was, and I didn't even realize it was a message in Hebrew. And what it was the visit of the 3 magi to see the infant Jesus. You know, and in Maria Valtorta, in Italian, they say that they were counting the conjunctions between stars and planets, blah, blah, blah. And then the message of the stars and the conjunctions was Messiah to be coming into the world. Okay. And in Italian, this is not grammatical.
Yeah.
Okay, but the English translation, sadly, it smoothened it. It made it grammatical, and just said the Messiah is coming into the world, or something like this.
Yeah.
But as Professor De Caro points out, hang on, the Magi, they're speaking bad Italian.
Yeah.
You know, for a reason.
Yeah. There's something behind.
Yeah, so he said, what he does is excuse me, Professor De Caro, he uses those astronomy programs.
Mm-hmm.
I think he bases himself as though in Babylon or Jerusalem, I don't know where, and he counts conjunctions in the sky, the number of days in between, and of course each number in Hebrew corresponds to a word.
Yeah.
And this is not, there's a science of this for the Jews, for the Hebrew speakers, called gematria.
Yeah.
Okay, but gematria is ancient, and even in the centuries before the birth of Jesus, in Babylon, there were books of gematria in Hebrew for the Babylonians.
Wow.
Okay, so, and you can find online books of gematria. You can search any number and it'll give you a list of Hebrew words. So he sent me this, and it was the same thing, Messiah, to be, coming into the world.
Wow.
And I was astonished, when he told me what this was about. I couldn't believe, that he actually found this, and he published it more recently.
Yeah.
2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
And this is yet another proof. Yeah. That, well, either that or Maria Valtorta is a complete genius in practically every field of science and history and astronomy and gematria and Hebrew and New Testament Greek manuscripts, everything. She must be an expert in all these things.
Yeah.
How is it possible for someone who is bedridden, more or less paralyzed, sitting in bed, looking at the wall, writing by hand, to know all these things? It's incredible.
Yeah. Okay, great. Okay, so at last, what would you like to say to Maria Valtorta readers in Italy and around the world?
Okay. To Maria Valtorta readers in Italy, I will say, first of all, you are blessed to speak Italian as your first language, and I wish I spoke it fluently. And I say treasure this great gift, this gift that God has given to your nation. And especially, I love the city of Florence, and every time I've been to Florence, I've managed to miss her tomb. I wish I need to go again. Is it Santo Spirito? Is she buried in? I can't remember.
In
but I need to.
Santissima Annunziata.
Oh yes, yeah. I need to go there and venerate her. So, but I see you in Italy you can read it free online, I believe. So please treasure this. Don't take it for granted. To people outside Italy, learn Italian. No, but also, I think
we have so many translations.
Yes, and also I think English is used as a base for many other translations. So it's important also to have a good English translation. And I must say to the people, the first translation I think is beautiful. I really like the very first translation. I know there were some mistakes and things that need to change, but I forget the translator's name, Nicandro Pilozzi or something like that. I forget. And it was revised then by an Englishman from Nottingham. But it is a beautiful translation. Even for English readers, it's a strange language because there are many words there we don't understand automatically.
Yeah.
But I think it forces us to expand our vocabulary.
Yeah.
And
also in Italian.
I don't think it's a problem, I was in California and I was talking to a man there about Maria Valtorta, and he's been reading it also for many, many years. And we discussed the same passage where Maria uses the word paranymph.
Oh, yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And I was talking about this, and I said, I know what it means, but part of me thinks, should we say bridesmaid?
Yeah.
But it's not the same as bridesmaid,
Yeah.
And maybe that's why we should have footnotes, because we can put a modern word, but it doesn't mean the same thing. It's maybe close, but I think in some ways it would be a betrayal, as you say in Italian, traditore.
Yeah.
It would be a betrayal of her. So I like the English translation, and I think a third edition, if it's ever made, can be more faithful to the original purposes of the
and poetry maybe of their writings.
Yes, because the poetic cadence of Valtorta in Italian is very hard to put in another language, but
Of course.
I think the English translation has it, and I don't want them to lose it. You know,
Okay. Yeah.
it would be a great shame. And I obviously, you know, there are other things at work. You know, because you can say, how come the characters sound Italian?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Thomas Aquinas, my brother,
Yeah.
he says a very important principle: everything received is received according to the manner of the recipient.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is a very important for any revelation.
Yeah.
So Maria Valtorta is hearing all these things mostly in Italian, and so they are even some of the gestures I think that she sees are probably Italianized.
Yeah.
You know?
Okay.
So we should not be too surprised by that.
Mm-hmm.
But is it still authentic? Yes, I think it still carries over, puts forth to us
Yeah.
the authentic spirit and words and gestures of the speakers of that time.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be worried about it or too surprised, you know, because sometimes, you know, like Peter, even Jesus is described as doing some very Italian style of gestures, like spreading his arms. You know, I think that's what Don Camillo will do. You know? But and I think we have to remember this principle of Thomas Aquinas.
Okay. Yeah.
Everything received is received according to the manner of the recipient.
Okay.
But there are other things, of course, that she's hearing in Aramaic or Hebrew. You know, she writes on the pronunciation of the name of God
Sometimes. Mm-hmm.
by those in Jerusalem and by those in Galilee, you know, and this is very important
Yeah.
because she does hear and she tries to write what she hears phonetically. And those are very interesting things that she writes.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Okay. So thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you very, very much for your time
Not at all.
now, but for your testimony. You have to know that every time Father Leon gives a testimony
Yes,
to
the pilgrims here.
but
I-
many pilgrims.
Yeah, I actively promote the
Yeah.
writings of Maria
Every
Valtorta,
time.
especially the Gospel as revealed to me, or the poem of the man God.
Yeah.
But
He
even the other writings.
say, pray the rosary, be a good Christian, make confession, and
Read Maria Valtorta. Yes,
So yeah, thank you.
you're welcome. Thank
Thank
you.
you
Thank
so
you for
much.
having me.